A Moderna mistake at a military-based vaccination site, and it could mean hundreds of people now need to get a third COVID shot. Welcome to the news at 11, everyone. I'm Rick Ritter.
And I'm Vic Carter. On 2 days this month, 80 vials at Fort Meade were stored outside the recommended temperature. The problem now, that means it may not be as effective as it should be.
And WJZ live at 11 o'clock tonight. Kelsey Kushner explains what happened here and everything you need to know. Kelsey.
Rick, Vic, well, we know that the Moderna vaccine needs to be stored at freezing cold temperatures, and officials say those vaccines at Fort Meade that were mishandled were held at room temperature for over 24 hours. Now it's forcing members of the military to now get a third dose of the vaccine just to make sure they're protected. A vaccination mistake at Fort Meade.
This was due to improper storage and handling of the vaccine.
Thursday, officials announced 800 doses of the Moderna vaccine were compromised and inadvertently administered.
Instead of going from the freezer to the refrigerator to store, it went from the freezer to room temperature. It remained at that state beyond the 24 hours, which calls into question the efficacy of the vaccine.
Colonel Tracy Michael says his department at Kimbrough Ambulatory Care Center administered the bad batch of shots at McGill Training Center on April 7th and April 12th. At a town hall meeting, he says the 80 affected vials were handled by 2 people at the storage facility and not at the vaccination site. It wasn't until staff members were moving things around when they made the shocking discovery.
They cannot guarantee that the vaccine will provide the full protection that it was intended to.
His team is now scrambling to reschedule appointments for a third shot. Doctors say if you got one of the affected doses, there's no need to panic. There are no known risks of getting an ineffective vaccine.
The downside is that the vaccine may have degraded and thus not have been effective.
Dr. Bill Moss at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health calls this an unfortunate event. He says it shouldn't deter anyone from getting vaccinated.
It's one of our best tools in the toolbox to prevent hospitalizations and deaths and really to get on top of this pandemic.
Now, Colonel Michael says that they have made some changes at Fort Meade to make sure that this doesn't happen again. He says that includes vamping up their training on how to properly store the vaccines. It also says that they're going to add more people to make sure that those vaccines are properly handled. Reporting live tonight, Kelsey Kushner for WJZ.